Now, this surge of growth has transformed Austin into an economic powerhouse, making people and businesses come here. But with this rapid expansion comes a lot of growing pains, including a culture shift. The challenge of maintaining sustainable and inclusive growth while going through all this rapid change that we're going through requires strong community leaders and efforts to manage this issue. Austin, Texas is known for its vibrant music scene, food, booming tech industry, and many other things. But as your go-to guide and friendly advisor, I would like to go over a few things that you need to know before making that move to Austin. So before you pack your bags, I'm going to go over 5 things you really need to know before coming to Austin. Number 1, while Austin, Texas is the state capital, it's also considered the allergy capital, specifically Cedar fever. Austin's infamous allergy season of cedar fever is typically in the winter from December to January primarily, and you will see people all over Austin that look like they have colds, but they're not colds. They have watery eyes, sniffly noses, snorting and sniffing left and right. This is cedar fever. One might ask, what is cedar fever? This is an allergic reaction to the pollen that explodes out of the trees of the ash juniper tree. One might argue that it's the cedar tree, and most people think it's cedar trees, but it's actually the ash juniper tree that has an explosive amount of pollen, and when the wind blows, you can see it in the air. And if you are allergic to this, I'm really sorry. Now, Austin has other allergies that it's famous for too, but cedar fever is the most known. Now, throughout the year, Austin has high pollen counts to trees, grasses, weeds, several things, and it affects many residents with seasonal allergies. Now, if you're one of the unfortunate people that is going to get allergies when you move to Austin, or maybe you already have them but are impacted when you move here to the new allergies, there are things you can do to help a little bit. There are over-the-counter drugs you can take. There's saline nasal sprays. You can stay inside, and most importantly, don't skimp out on cheap air filters. Get the HEPA air filters. That stands for the high efficiency particulates air filters. Those are the better ones that are going to absorb more of the pollen that might be in the air that has gotten into your home. So don't cheap out on air filters. Another thing they say that helps allergies is using local honey on things like breakfast items or ice creams or whatever it is. Having some of that local honey that has the natural pollen from this area, they say, tends to help with allergies. I don't know if it's been proven. I'm not a doctor, but they say, and who doesn't love honey? So try it. Are you thinking about relocating to Austin and the surrounding areas? Well, I've got just the thing for you. My team and I have taken the time to create the ultimate relocation guide. This will save you hours of research, and I've linked it down below. From top employers, best hospitals, and a boatload of other things you might need to know, this guide will assist you in making your move to Austin. The best part is it's 100% free. Just click the link in the description or the top pinned comment. I hope that helps. Moving on to the second item of things you really need to know before making a decision moving to Austin is the weather. I have said it in many videos before, but we can have extreme weather, especially in the summer. The summer heat can be brutal, and you have to know this going into it. A lot of people move to Texas and say, oh, I'm fine, I can handle the heat. And when the summer comes and it gets above 100, they all say, wow, I didn't really know what 100 degrees really felt like. With a little bit of humidity mixed in, summers can be really brutal. And let's not forget about the hidden cost because of that extreme heat is your air conditioning bill. Air conditioning isn't just nice to have, it's kind of a survival tool when you live here in Texas. Now, sometimes, especially in the summer, we are lacking rain, and that has become a very difficult situation for Austin and Texas in general. The land can get very dry and hard, and we go into a drought. The lakes suffer from it, the ones that aren't constant level. The heat and the drought have an impact on many things, including your yard, your landscaping, and we all go on water restrictions, which means we only get to water once a week, which isn't enough, and you can hand water. So when I say water once a week, that's irrigation watering, but you can hand water as well, but it's really hard to keep up with it, and a lot of times, especially like last summer was severely hot, a lot of the grasses died, and they are trying to survive in that heat, and it's really hard to get them growing. So naturally, it's hard on the landscaping, hard on your grass, hard on your curb appeal. And when you have dry land like that, especially in the older parts of Austin and other areas, we can sometimes have severe thunderstorms that happen. And while we welcome that rain, we would rather it come in the form of heavy sprinkles rather than a torrential downpour, because what happens is that land is so dry that rain is hitting so hard that it just washes off, and then we suffer with flash flooding, which is a real thing in Austin when we have this happen. Now, new construction areas are built to have water reservoirs, drainage properly, so you don't have as much problems in those areas. But in the older parts of Austin that weren't equipped for that, you will see areas that will flood, and it's very sad. It's very hard to deal with. Businesses can suffer. Cars get washed away in the street if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time. And the term "turn around, don't drown" is real. We have a lot of creeks here in the Austin area, and they're low water crossings. And some people think they can still make it over that water crossing. And sadly, that water rises so fast that cars tend to get washed away if they didn't obey the rule of "turn around, don't drown." So we take that very seriously when hard rainstorms happen with dry land. With all that being said, it can be severely hot in the summers. The good news for Austin is there's tons of watering holes to enjoy, and you just have to dress for the occasion. I am in sundresses almost every single day of the summer because it is so brutally hot, and you can dress up or dress down a sundress, so you just manage and adapt. Bars and restaurants that have outdoor seating areas have misting fans everywhere. So I would say overall, Austin has adapted to the severe heat, but it's still hot no matter what you do. So you have to learn how to cool off properly. Now for the question of the day. For those of you that are considering moving to Austin, where are you moving from, and why are you moving from the area where you live now? I'm truly curious, so leave a comment below and let me know. And better yet, email, text me, or call me. I'd love to have a conversation with you. My information should pop up on the screen. Moving on to our next topic, cost of living. It's no secret that Austin's popularity has skyrocketed in the last years, and with that comes housing prices skyrocketing as well. Now, we have seen a little bit of leveling out this past year, which is good for both buyers and sellers, but expect, depending on where you're coming from, to pay a good price for a home here. Now, that price is all relative, depending on where you are coming from. If you're coming from California, it might be chump change to you. But if you're coming from a small town like where I grew up in, it seems like a lot of money to buy a house here. To buy a house today in Austin, you're going to be looking at a median price in the mid 500s. But if you don't have the money for that kind of home, you can move to the outskirts of Austin, not too far out, and still buy a home in the mid 300s to the mid 400s easily. And as you get closer into Austin, you can buy a house in the $700,000 range without too much of a problem. Now, of course, there's plenty to offer beyond that $700,000 range, but you can still get in the city limits in close proximity to downtown and stay within that $700,000 range. If you're not buying a home at this moment, expect to pay about $1,500 to $1,800 for rent in a normal average apartment. The good news with the housing market is there's such a big price range and so many neighborhoods to choose from. You can find something that you need, but expect to pay for what you're getting. But for some, this might feel like an expensive ticket item, and it's your biggest ticket item of living expenses. Now, on the other flip side of things, the cost of living outside of that housing price is pretty good. Our gas prices, food prices, and utilities tend to be slightly below the average, so you do have some savings there. So in the big picture, Austin tends to fall in a very comfortable zone for living. You just have to budget accordingly for your lifestyle. Moving on to topic number 4, traffic. There's no getting around it. We have traffic problems in Austin. We've had such a rapid amount of growth in the past few years. Our infrastructure cannot support it. So while we have some people that are able to work from home, others can't. And you have rush hour traffic times that really are difficult for some people. Our rush hour traffic times are pretty rough. There's no getting around it. And our public transportation is less than stellar at the moment. They are trying to improve it, but most people just have a car because of the situation. Now, if you don't have a car and don't want to take public transportation, or are going out on a special occasion or going out for the evening, I'm a big proponent, don't drink and drive. There are plenty of options for transportation, for Uber, Lyft, taxis, you name it, we have it. Get with your friends, share an Uber or a Lyft or whatever form of transportation you use, split the cost, head on downtown, have a great time, and stay safe. Hey guys, Shannon Green here, and as much as I love making these videos, there's one thing I love more: That's helping families like you make the move here to Austin, Texas. I've helped countless families make the move, so whether you're coming out next week, next month, or next year, please don't hesitate to reach out. My contact information is right here on the screen and linked in the description in case you missed that on-screen pop-up. And I look forward to helping you and your family make the move to Austin. And finally, number 5, we are all about keeping Austin weird. That's been a slogan that Austin has owned for years and years. And with rapid growth comes change. And it is a big balancing act between maintaining the quirkiness of Austin and accepting the change that is happening and is still coming. From supporting local business and engaging in community arts, it's all about preserving what we love about Austin while accepting the change at the same time. Austin has experienced significant growth since 2010, and since that time, we have nearly doubled the GDP and increased the population by 36%, making Austin one of the fastest growing regions in the country. Now, this surge of growth has transformed Austin into an economic powerhouse, making people and businesses come here, which is why we have so many traffic issues. But with this rapid expansion comes a lot of growing pains, including a culture shift. The challenge of maintaining sustainable and inclusive growth while going through all this rapid change that we're going through requires strong community leaders and efforts to manage this issue. While we are going through all of this growth and change, it is no secret that it is going to impact some people that live closer to that downtown area that have lived there for years. Gentrification is a real thing, and it is a topic being talked about on a regular basis, and it is a sensitive topic. So know if you're considering moving to Austin that this is one thing that we have to consider, we have to be very delicate with. One of the things a new resident coming to Austin can do is to embrace the culture of Austin, to get involved in the arts, go explore the live music, and support local businesses. And that's one way you can really become a part of the community and protecting that culture that Austin so desperately wants to keep. Now, moving to Austin means embracing the culture, but understanding also the challenges that come with it. Whether it's battling Cedar fever, dealing with the hot Texas summers, budgeting appropriately for the cost of living, navigating through the horrible traffic, or contributing to the city's evolving identity, it's all a part of the Austin experience. Remember, every city has its quirks and challenges. It's what makes every city unique. And Austin is no different. But armed with the right knowledge and readiness to adapt, you can become an Austinite in no time. So if you're looking to make a move to Austin or already in Austin and want to explore different areas, reach out to me. I am a local Austin, Texas realtor. My name is Shannon Green. I'm happy to help you. Let's set up a time. Let's get it on the calendar and let's go through your needs specifically and see what actually fits your lifestyle. Reach out to me, call me, text me, or email me. My information is below, and don't forget to like and subscribe to this page. I will see you on the next video.